Hey everybody, here's a new project we got working on right now. This one has two square speakers. They both have the NXT and the traditional woofer style speakers. Got these from Parts Express for I think 24 bucks. And they can take up to 24 watts of power. And I'm going to use this Dayton amplifier here from Parts Express too. Class D amplifier, great amplifier if you know how to solder them together. The thing is very reliable and very powerful. And I'm not going to put a battery in this system right here. I'm going to do an external battery supply. And here's my the way to connect my external battery. Just these two solder points right here will connect to the amplifier that's on the inside there. And I just have to quick disconnect a 12-volt battery on the outside. And here's a quick disconnect of the auxiliary input and auxiliary cable. And it's all going to go in this box right here. This is a box I bought from Hobby Lobby. Very simple and cheap. It was like $2 for that box. But I'm trying to make a system here that's portable, easy to build, and will blow the doors off of any of those really compact systems out there. To mention like the Sound Matters or the Jawbone Jam Box or the Monster HD. This will probably beat both of them, all three of them. And this is 30 watts of power. Those other ones don't have nearly that much power. Anyway, here's all the parts I got put together now. I'll show some videos of how to put them together. Alrighty, later. Hey everybody, here's the second stage of my project. I had to measure out exactly where I want to put these speakers in this box here. I set it up for adding the speakers close together where I can use this Sony grill. I'm just going to use only the grill to protect the speakers. So I had to put them really right next to each other. So I measured on the box right here the exact place I'm going to put the speakers with a ruler, and then I marked their circles to exactly how big I needed to put the holes for the speakers to fit in. And there it is right there. I'm going to Dremel this out using a Dremel tool and this Dremel sander, and of course put a center drill hole in there and do that part of the project. I'm gonna do this and I'll film another one again, another film right after this. Alrighty, later. Okay, here's how we drill the center hole. I use this 3/4 inch bit, so I'm getting there and be able to sand Dremel out the hole. I Dremel this out like this, as you can see. And what I'm going to do right now is Dremel out this hole to make it wider, to match the lines right there. Like that. That's what I'm going to do. Alrighty. I have drilled out the holes now and Dremeled them out using this sanding device right here. Over and over again, just Dremel it out till I hit the edges, the lines which I created, and to the size I needed. And all we got to do is put the speakers in. See how they fit quite nicely right there. So I'm going to start on the next process, which is tapping holes into there. I have to pre-drill those holes first and put the screws in there. Pre-drilling so we don't split the wood, because this is probably pretty brittle wood. Alrighty. Okay, I have drilled the holes, pre-drilled the holes, and put the screws inside the speakers. It's in there nice and tight now. You see the bottom? Alright, the next stage of this build process is putting the volume control for the amplifier. This is the Dayton amplifier, and this is a pretty difficult part, because this threads right here are only so thick, so you have to thin out the wood some. This wood right here is too thick, so I have to Dremel out some of that wood. I'm going to place this one, volume control, on this edge right here for that side volume control. Place it in there. You see how it fits right there? I have to Dremel out some of that wood to where I can put the screw on top of there, like that much. With just by hand with the sander part of the drill. And put it right about right there, and then I'm going to start the next process. Okay, here I have the volume control installed now. I had to Dremel out that one edge. That wood is just way too thick for this to work, and to have that that screw, screwed on the volume control. So I had to etch out the wood very carefully because it gets very thin. You don't want to cut all the way through there, or else you can't install volume control. So I used a combination of the sandpaper from that Dremel tool attachment and this little etcher right here. So pretty much a little grinding thing. It Dremel out some of the wood. Fine Dremeling tool right here. And well, here's that step right there. Going to the next step next is to put that auxiliary cable connection. I want to quick disconnect. I'm going to drill a hole right there and put that in there. And to secure that in there, I'm going to use some, it's like liquid nails. It gets pretty hard, and it'll hold that right into there. And that'll be the next step. I have just installed the auxiliary input cable, or the thingamajig where the auxiliary input cable attaches to. All it did was drill out a hole exactly how big I needed to fit that attachment in there. My cable just fits right in there. Just quick disconnect. And I got some of that sealant. It glues. It gets very hard. It glues really good, and it'll attach to there, and that thing won't fall around inside there. Just attaches like that, so you can just hook up your auxiliary cable to it, and there you got your volume control on the same time, on the same side, and that looks like a done deal right there. Now I want to concentrate on the power part. How to hook up my external battery. I'm going to use this. Basically, it's just a speaker connected from a Bose bookshelf set of speakers. And it's got the positive and negative. On this side, it's got two little metal prongs. I want to connect those to the positive side of the amplifier and one to the negative side of the amplifier. And I'm going to place it on this side, drilling two holes, one for the positive, one for the negative, cable to go through it, and just solder them onto those and have access to them, and drill and screw two screws on this side of the box. So we're almost finished with this one project right here. Won't take you that long if you ever decide to build you one yourself. Alrighty, we're ready for the next side. The next part of the next step. I installed the power connections, and there it is right there. Sensor your positive and your negative. I have soldered them on to the connections, and there are the wires coming right in. I drill holes for the wires to protrude through, and pre-drilled the holes for the screws so don't split the wood. And that's what it looks like. Great power connections. Great looking, cool. Way different than anything we've ever done before. This box is in fact different than anything we've done before. It is the smallest, and hopefully it's going to be very loud and very awesome sounding too. Alrighty, well, we're getting ready for the next step, which was, it's going to be to solder the motherboard, which is inside this. So this package in here to protect it from static electricity. But that, if you ever get an amp like this, it comes with instructions and things like that. I'm not going to go through that because it's a little bit tedious. It's kind of hard to film at the same time. Anyways, I'll ready for the next film next time. Later. I have the amplifier soldered right now. I just had to solder all the wires, the positive, the negative, the left and right speaker to that amplifier motherboard. And then I have the LED installed, which I basically just drilled a hole through the front faceplate right there in between the speakers and attached the lead wires to the motherboard, the amplifier. And I soldered on this little magnet thing, this ferrite magnet that has to go, the speaker wires have to loop through there for some reason. The amplifier instructions say you have to have that. Plus it's a resistor that's soldered from the positive and negative alongside the speakers. So I have soldered that, and then I put electrical tape brush. I painted on electrical tape, which is so much more convenient than trying to tape with electrical tape. And there's a project right there. It is almost finished, literally. Here's the battery I'm going to use. It's a lead acid battery. Dude, this time it's going to be on the outside. 1.3 amp battery, 12 volts. A lot of power is in this. Never want to touch the leads to one another in any way. It will spark on you, and who knows what. It will just, it's just a lot of power inside there. But I have it all almost ready to test it. I'm letting the glue dry there, and the electrical tape, and that putty stuff right there that holds in the auxiliary input. Anyways, catch you later, next time. Okay, here's my project that is all done. It's glued and dried, and I'm going to tell you what I did at the last part. All I did was put some of that white sealant and sealed the top lid shut, where it's an airtight speaker, completely airtight. And there's your indicator, your power indicator is right there, and volume control right there, auxiliary input, battery connection, which I have it connected to that battery, and here's my iPod connected to it, and it works. Tested it out and check it out.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kinda hard being Snoop D-O Double G, but I somehow, someway keep coming up with funky ass shit like every single day. May I kick a little something for the G's and make a few ends as I breeze through 2 in the morning and the party still jumping cause my mama ain't home. I got bitches in the living room getting it on and they ain't leaving till 6.
It gets amazingly loud. Ridiculous. And I think this whole setup costs like 70 bucks. And if you like projects like me, I'm sure you'll like to do one of these by yourself. And for yourself. It's a good project. It's nice. Very compact speaker system. I'm going to paint it and put this grill on the front. It's really neat and awesome. Anyway, I'll probably put another video of the finished product later. So I'm going to hook this up and show y'all pretty much step by step on how to create this later.